Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Linux desktop. There is actually a text mode or a graphical mode. Very rarely will you use the text mode today, although there are some examples, particularly maybe in a Raspberry Pi you might do that. In the graphical user interface mode, there are two desktop environments, the GNOME or the KDE. Normally we're going to use GNOME, though it'll depend on different systems. This is an example of an old Red Hat system here, and this is the way the menu looks. It's not the way Ubuntu looks. That looks a little bit differently. Here you're going to see Ubuntu as an example here, where we see some system settings that you can go in and change, just like the control panel that you might have gotten used to in a Windows. So here it's referring to system settings. In the Red Hat, same thing, just under accessories they've got that option. And in that example you can add or remove packages. This is through the Red Hat Package Manager. This is a little bit differently than we're going to do it for our system. In our system we're going to look on Ubuntu. We can see this little A symbol here. This is going to give us the applications that are already installed under Ubuntu. Now sometimes you're going to have to install some stuff here. Here's an example. I didn't mention it, but over on the left you see the icons. This is the Word icon, and down here is a calc icon. But when I double click the calc icon, you see the JRE is required. JRE is the Java Runtime Environment, which is a program that you need in order to use Java. That installation is fairly easy. You can just do a Google search for it. In this case I've got a 64-bit platform. RPM is the Red Hat Package Manager based platforms. So if you're using Fedora as an example, you might do it that way. We haven't talked about tar files, but we'll talk about them. That's a zipped up file, just like a zip file on Windows. And in this case it tells you exactly how to to unpack and install the file. Now, creating a new user is easy to do. Step number one is just clicking right up here. Step number two down here, giving it a name. It's fairly intuitive if you can follow graphical user interface fairly easily. There's user preferences. You can find all sorts of things there, which we're not really going to worry too much about. You can change the display settings just like you would in Windows. In the installation process, you would normally set up a password for the root user, and that root user is the super user, the administrator of the system, and so we need that. One of the things that's different nowadays in Ubuntu is it used to be app-get for a command to begin the command. Now it's apt. So app upgrade or app get upgrade, both of them will still work. Auto remove, full upgrade, search, show. There's all sorts of these commands, and we'll talk about the app commands down the road as the semester continues.